Bonnie and Clyde were viciously ambushed in the small town of Gippsland, Louisiana, leaving behind rumors that grew into legends. Today we are going to see if we can put these rumors to rest by performing the most extensive investigation ever done at the ambush site. To learn more about them, we stop at the Bonnie and Clyde Ambush Museum, which was originally the Campbell's Cafe, where they had their last meal.
My name is Perry Carver. I own the Bonnie and Clyde Ambush Museum here in Gippsland, Louisiana. Bonnie and Clyde were probably the most famous outlaw couple in the world now. They stopped here in Gippsland in 1934 on May 23rd. Here where the museum is located. This was Canfield's Cafe, and Clyde came in that morning. Most people don't realize this, but Bonnie really couldn't walk at that time. They had been in a bad car wreck a year earlier, and she was crippled. But Clyde came in, and he got him a Gippsland round steak sandwich, which was basically a fried bologna sandwich, and Bonnie got a BLT. And they left here and ended up down at the ambush site where they killed him. They were dead 10 minutes after they left this building.
In 1929, Wall Street crashed, leaving many people financially destitute. The period had become known as the Great Depression, which triggered a crime wave like no other. The motivation behind many of these crimes was attributed to the economic hopelessness of the time period. Clyde Barrow, born on March 24, 1909 in Ellis County, Texas, came from an extremely poor family. He had already been arrested several times since 1926 before he met Bonnie Parker. Bonnie, growing up without a father, was talented in poetry and had big dreams of becoming an actress one day. She later married Roy Thornton in 1926. While Roy was in jail, Bonnie met Clyde on January 5, 1930 at the home of Clyde's friend Clarence Clay in West Dallas, Texas. They fell in love almost immediately, which would change their lives forever.
They did not set out to do this or be this. Just the newspapers basically created them and helped make them famous. In real life, Bonnie never robbed or killed anybody. Her life insurance policy paid double indemnity for accidental death. And Clyde's paid off too, because he wasn't committing a crime when they killed him. But it didn't pay double. They are the reason life insurance companies changed their policies.
On May 23, 1934, Ray Hammer, a retired Texas Ranger who came out of retirement, led a posse of 4 Texas and 2 Louisiana officers who ambushed Bonnie and Clyde on a rural road in Beanville Parish, Louisiana at approximately 9:15 a.m. It is believed that Prentice Oakley, a Louisiana officer, shot first and killed Clyde. It was reported that the rest of the group then opened fire on Bonnie. Word of the ambush quickly spread when Frank Hammer and others went to town to pawn their bosses. While they were away, a group of people had begun stealing souvenirs. The car was towed with the bodies still in it. Coroner Dr. J.L. Wade listed 17 entrance wounds on Clyde's body and 26 on Parker's. Bonnie and Clyde wished to be buried beside each other, but the Parker family would not allow it. Over 20,000 people attended Bonnie's funeral.
But she was a willing participant with Clyde. She never robbed or killed nobody, like I said, but she loved it, and she would not leave it. And he begged her often to just go home before it got too bad, and she wouldn't do it.
To really grasp the crimes that Bonnie and Clyde committed, one has to go back to April 1930, the year Clyde was sent to Eastham Prison in Texas. While there, he committed his first murder of another inmate who had aggressively harassed him. Clyde had another inmate chop 2 of his toes off to avoid hard labor in the fields. Without his knowledge, his mother had petitioned a release for him 6 days after his injury, which left him with a limp for the rest of his life. Later that year, he was sent back to Eastham Prison. On February 2, 1932, Clyde emerged as a hardened and bitter criminal. Ralph Foltz, a fellow inmate, said he watched Clyde change from a schoolboy to a rattlesnake. It was from this point that all of Clyde's future crimes was to line up for the big one, revenge on Eastham Prison. Bonnie would be by Clyde's side as they went from state to state, murdering and stealing, so that one day Clyde could make East Ham pay for what he felt they had done to him.
Throughout the years, they've become such a popular thing. Every little town in Texas practically has a story about them. There's towns here in Louisiana that have stories about them. Not all of them are true, but they're all fun to hear. And a lot of people come into the museum with their stories that their grandfather told them or their great-grandfather told them. And these are stories that are handed down through generations.
Over the years, many books, films, and music have been based on Bonnie and Clyde. The most famous film was Bonnie and Clyde, directed by Arthur Penn, starring Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway in 1967. There were several songs in 1967 and 1968, such as Bonnie and Clyde and A Day in the Life of Bonnie and Clyde. Many books have been published over the years. One of the most famous was published in 2004 titled My Life with Bonnie and Clyde. It is said that Bonnie Parker liked going to theaters to watch films. She wanted to be an actress and be famous just like the movie stars she had seen on the big screens during that time period. Even though she became a criminal celebrity during her life, her immortality was granted after death through pop culture.
But like I said, there's always something new. There's a new documentary or a new book or a new movie or a new song. Their names, Bonnie and Clyde, is referred to more in more TV shows than anybody else's. Their name has been used from every show from NCIS to Kojak. I mean, it's for years they've used their names to refer to other outlaws, and they're world famous.
Throughout the years since Bonnie and Clyde's death, the real story has grown into legend. From Hollywood's glamorous take on it, fictional books written, some towns and shops exaggerating it, and gossip have buried the real tale. The real story is a sad one of two criminal lovers and those who lost their lives. The victims are usually overshadowed by the legends. No one will ever know the amount of true victims that Bonnie and Clyde left in their destructive path. It is believed that they committed 13 murders and countless robberies, assaults, and burglaries. Throughout the years, several museums have been set up, such as the Bonnie and Clyde Ambush Museum, located in Gippsland, Louisiana, minutes away from the actual ambush site. By showcasing real artifacts, video testimony, and more, it educates many people about the true story.
Well, the museum was opened up in 2005. Ken Holmes and his partner Charles Hurd opened the museum. Within a couple of years, Ken bought Charles out. Charles is still a great historian, still loves the Bonnie and Clyde stories, and he is in a movement right now to have Bonnie's body moved. But anyway, they started this museum in 2005. Boots Hinton, Ted Hinton's son, one of the posse members, worked here for 12 years. We lost Boots about a year and a half ago. But we have a lot of authentic artifacts here. We have some of their guns. We have several of Bonnie's hats, some of her costume jewelry. Now the jewelry and some of the hats were recovered from the Joplin shootout.
On April 13, 1933, a 5-man force and 2 cars confronted what they suspected were bootleggers living in a garage apartment in Joplin, Missouri. Detective McGinnis and Constable Harriman were killed by Clyde, his brother Buck, and accomplice W.D. Jones. The Barrow Gang, which also included Bonnie Parker and Buck's wife Blanche, left as quickly as they could, leaving behind weapons, clothing, jewelry, and film. The film was processed and published, giving the nation a first glimpse of what the Barrow Gang looked like. What they were doing in the photos would stun the nation during that time period. Today, several people have witnessed paranormal activity, seeing shadow-like figures outside, and hearing voices of someone that they cannot see. This led me to think, could the museum be haunted as well?
The museum is really cool. I have several paranormal groups that come in each year and do their investigations. There's certainly some energy back here. I'm not really knowledgeable about all of that, but I know what I see. And sometimes the lights flicker. This isn't old electricity here. Everything's been rewired. I have one of my toilets in my men's bathroom. Sometimes the handle will stick, so I'm always making sure that the handle doesn't stick, because the water will run. But I've come in here in the morning, and the water's just running, and I know for a fact it wasn't running when I left. I'll come in some mornings, and some of my pictures here are laid down.
Hi, my name is Bill Thompson. I'm senior investigator for LGG, that's Louisiana Ghosting Generation. We are the official paranormal team for the Bonnie and Clyde Ambush Museum. We come here to the museum and the kill site often and communicate with Bonnie and Clyde. Here at the museum, we get a lot of different activities, from people being touched to items being moved, and we also make contact with Bonnie and Clyde and get questions answered. Then we move on out to the kill site and get a lot of activity there. Here at the museum, we enjoy bringing people in and letting them experience what's going on.
When I first bought the museum, I lived here in the museum for about 2 months. And several times at night, something would wake me up, tickling my foot. You know, at first you wake up, you think your foot's itching. And then you realize it's not, something's tickling your foot. And it's kind of weird. I wasn't scared, but it was weird. I got up and put my shoes on and went and sat at the desk. So there is something back here.
There's people that come into the museum, mainly elderly ladies, that have a strong sensation back here in the back and are unable to come in. There's a lot of people that are touched, mainly women, and we blame that on Clyde, because Clyde was a ladies' man. You get a strong presence back here near the back because the museum is located in the old Canfield Cafe, and Miss Canfield lived back here in the back, and she was really emotional when she heard about Bonnie and Clyde's death, because they did frequent the cafe a lot. So we're probably getting Miss Canfield back here, and the lady that cooked the meal, their last meal, was also visibly shaken.
I've had some people come up, mostly elderly women, not too old, but you know, they're 40s or 50s or something, and they'll get to the door and they won't go any further. They said, there's something back there, I feel it, I can't go back there. And so there is something here. I've heard they've made contact with the previous owner, Ken Holmes. We lost Ken about 6 years ago. They've contacted Boots. There's a little black lady crying over in a corner, we believe is the one that served Clyde his sandwiches that morning.
Perry Carver, the owner of the museum, he experienced this sensation of being touched. When he first bought the museum, he had living quarters behind me, and he was asleep one night and had his foot out from under the cover and felt something touching or tickling his foot. And he said he got up and got dressed and set up in the gift shop the rest of the night. And a lot of visitors to the museum have that same sensation, but not on their foot. They're touched on the arm or the neck. Women feel a sensation of somebody running their fingers through their hair and touching them on different places. But it's not malicious. You can tell that they are just wanting to be noticed and let you know they're there.
There's been little shadows you can see go across the wall. They look like children. So I have no idea what that would relate to. This has been a cafe. It was also a furniture store at one time. It was a pool hall at one time. So there's been different things in this building.
There's a shadow figure seen here in the museum. Perry Carver, the owner of the museum, has seen it quite often. Every time we do a paranormal investigation here in the museum, we see it behind me. So it could be Miss Canfield, it could be Bonnie, it could be a number of people. The cook that was here, but it's seen all over the museum. Perry has interacted and seen it more than anybody else. It's not a malicious figure, it's a friendly figure and likes to interact with people. It just wants us to know that whoever it is, she is here and doesn't mind interacting with us. We really enjoy it and look forward to seeing her every time we do an investigation. And we point that out to guests that we bring in here. So it's always fun seeing the figure.
My grandparents knew Ted Toddy, and I got to play in the car when I was a kid. The car brought me into this story, and the car helped make them famous, because after they were dead and gone, that car was still here to tell their story.
I personally believe that Bonnie and Clyde are not attached to any one particular place, because we have so much activity here in the museum and at the kill site. They will interact with us here or at the kill site. Now, they choose who they're going to interact with, and they interact with us on several different devices, but mainly I get more activity on dowsing rods. Now, they may choose me out of the group to interact with, but they will always interact with Alex. There's something about Alex that they just love, and they'll interact with him when they won't interact with anybody else. And you'll notice that from time to time, Alex's name gets called often, and it's usually by Bonnie. And Clyde likes to pick on me too, so it's a lot of fun.
There are several things that made Bonnie and Clyde famous. One was their love, because it was truly a love story. Two was that car. And three was Frank Hamer being on their trail. Frank Hamer was certainly one of the most popular lawmen in the land. He was retired at the time, but he came out of retirement to go do this job, finish this job.
We get a lot of communications with Bonnie on different devices, dowsing rods, K2 meters, EVPs. She will interact with us and answer a lot of questions. She has moved things on demand. We've asked her to move different objects, and she has. And we just like dealing with Bonnie. Clyde's a lot of fun, but he's more active, I believe, at the kill site. But Bonnie, we get more activity here at the museum, and she likes to interact with to the point that she'll knock things over if you're not paying her enough attention. And she will have our equipment go out, and then we can ask her, Bonnie, would you please not do that? And our equipment will start working again. It's really interesting.
They did not want to shoot Bonnie Parker. The rumor in the area was she was 2.5 months pregnant. I personally don't believe she was. But the rumor was so strong that the sheriff and the deputy, when they died in the 1950s, they went to their graves thinking they killed a pregnant girl.
There was a lot of rumors about Bonnie being pregnant when she was killed in the ambush. Several times during our paranormal investigations, we have asked her that question, and we always get the same answer, and that answer is yes. So we believe that Bonnie was pregnant when she was killed in the ambush.
A lot of people don't realize Bonnie was dying from blood poisoning. Anybody that knows anything about burns, especially severe burns like she had, if they're not cleaned properly, you're going to get sick. And 2 months after she was burned, she was shot in the stomach in Dexfield. In November 33, she was shot through both legs in Sowers. So she was addicted to morphine, anything that would ease her pain. She was in bad shape by the time they killed her.
Hey, Gene, we're sitting here in the Last Stop Cafe, which is next door to the Bonnie and Clyde Ambush Museum, which was the Canfield Cafe. That's where Bonnie and Clyde got their last meal. And here at the Last Stop Cafe, you can get the same thing they did, a BLT for Bonnie and a fried bologna sandwich for Clyde. If you're ready, we'll head out to the kill site and see what we can find.
Mr. Bill, I really appreciate you taking us through the museum. And unlike Clyde, I'm going to actually eat my fried bologna sandwich on the way. Paranormal teams MPRI and SRS followed me as I traveled down the same road that doomed Bonnie and Clyde.
Hey, Alex, when's Gene gonna get here? Oh, no. I thought he was right behind us. He ought to be here just any minute.
Hey, I'm Alex Thompson, member of LGG, Louisiana Ghost Generation. We're the official paranormal investigators for Bonnie and Clyde Ambush Museum. Right now, we're at the kill site where Bonnie and Clyde were ambushed, approximately 7 miles from town, where they picked up their sandwiches from the Canfield Cafe, and Ivan Medler had his truck blocked out here to ambush them. Today, we're going to see if they'll communicate with us and if they're remorseful for the crimes they committed.
Hey, Gene.
Hey, man, how
I'm
you
glad
doing?
you made it. We were worried about you.
Absolutely. How you doing, man? Good. No, I had to meet up with my old MPRI group. David
Good
Childress
seeing
here.
y'all.
Me and David actually co-founded the group back in 2014. And you kind of brought me out of retirement here. So we're going to do this, right?
We're going to do this. We're going to go over there to the kill site and see if
Awesome.
we can make connection with them.
Awesome. So we're going to find out if Bonnie and Clyde are remorseful for the crimes that they committed.
We're going to ask and see what we get.
And we're finally going to put this rumor of her being pregnant to rest. Is she or is she not?
Well, I tell you, we ask that question every time we do an investigation. We get the same answer. I'm not going to tell you what the answer is, but
Let's see
we'll
what
see
she
what
says
she
today.
says today.
Absolutely. All right, man. Let's go.
Just take that right over there. Go ahead and get some of this stuff out.
All right. I just made it back. I'm going to check this in just a bit. As soon as I get everything back to the office, I'm going to take a look at all the evidence and go from there, see what we got. All right, man. MPRI, David's team, is currently investigating over here. I'm fixing to go meet up with my team, Supernatural Research Society. They're going to be meeting me over here where the car actually pulled over. Good. So while I'm meeting up with them, if y'all want to go ahead and get some of the equipment, I'll come back up, meet up with y'all, and we'll head over here and start it. Okay?
Great.
All right,
See you in a minute.
Good. All right, buddy.
All right, brother.
All right, man.
Last time we were here, we got some crazy evidence. In this area, we've seen shadow people. We heard disembodied voices. We heard moans. So we're thinking that somebody's spirit. Are you getting hit? It's like crazy over here.
All right. Good seeing you. You finally made it.
Yep, finally got here.
You know. LGG and MPRI are back there investigating. This is where the car actually stopped. So we have not done any investigation in this area. So if y'all can
We need to go
investigate,
ahead and cover this.
right, cover this area. I'm going to go back up there and cover with LGG on the opposite side of the kill site,
All right.
and we'll meet back up and see what we get. Sorry that they're not here with me, or I'd introduce you to them, but they're up there getting equipment at the moment. So we can make
problem.
introductions in a bit, right?
Divide and conquer.
All right, absolutely. Okay, y'all.
No
Good
problem.
luck. All right.
Oh wow.
Now
Come here.
dissipating now. Mine and hers both are going off crazy.
They were getting KT lit. Just out of the blue.
Yeah,
There you go. Go ahead and ask some questions. see if that's Bonnie. See if
Here we go. Here we go. It's hitting. It's hitting.
right there, right there.
Okay, I'm going to ask her just a few questions, okay? Bonnie, Clyde, if it's y'all out here, light it up to yellow for yes, red for no.
Bonnie, are you here?
Yes,
Was that a yes?
that was a yes.
Okay. Bonnie, I'm Gene Himmel. I'm here with Alex and Mr. Bill of the Louisiana Ghosting Generations. And we want to be able to talk to you. Is that okay? Do what?
Bonnie, it's okay to talk to Gene. He's a good friend of ours.
Are any of these trees close to the time period? That would retain more resonance.
Pine trees grow quick, so that's...
It's mostly loblolly pine.
There's an oak over there, probably about 40 years old, but we're looking at almost, what, 100 years?
So far, nothing.
It's getting a temperature around 80, in the mid-80s.
You could check out that big one over there, but that's further back. The road would have been right here. Because they build up the roads for drainage, but they didn't back then. So the road would have been down here. So most of the wood that would have been present at the time has been cut away. So it won't retain any signatures.
How far back into the line did the car go, or was it right in the ditch?
It rolled to a stop. It had to have rolled to a stop because he was dead as soon as he was shot that first time.
Blinking yellow. Can you do that again? Yellow for yes, red for no. You see, there's no electricity out here.
Hey, Bonnie. Bonnie. You're here with us right now. Talk to us. Bonnie? Bonnie, were you really a bad person? I mean, did you kill the people before Clyde did? Are you remorseful for what you done?
Yellow for yes, red for no. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
She is remorseful.
We want to be able to set the record straight with y'all's side of the story. But before we can do that, I have to get an answer to a question. Are y'all truly remorseful for the crimes that y'all committed?
Hey.
What? Hey? Are y'all truly remorseful for the crimes that y'all committed?
Yes.
Bonnie said yes.
Okay, what about Clyde? Is he truly remorseful? Do what?
Bonnie, will you repeat that, please?
Clyde, are you truly remorseful for the crimes that you committed?
Maybe.
Look, there's a 10-degree difference over here. That's a heck of a drop.
Oh, whoa.
I'm up to 80.
No, it just went to 63 right there.
Okay.
It's cold right around there.
I'm still reading 81 on mine. Back up to
That's
82,
weird.
Marcus?
Yeah, it's weird.
Before it was
No,
61.
61. What the
80.
heck?
Okay. I think we may need to replace a battery in that. Okay, Marcus, also, this has a range meter on it that tells you what the temperature variance is going to be at range. Like at 4 feet, it's going to give you a different width of the reading. So it's going to read different at the range you're at. So it's going to read different at 100 feet than it is at 2 feet.
Yeah.
I think the battery's getting to go dead on that.
Yeah, it is.
You're upset? You're upset?
Yellow for yes, red for no. All right, Bonnie. Okay, well, thank you. Do you mind us being out here with you? You can just light this back up. Is it somebody else out here besides Bonnie or Clyde? Yellow for yes, red for no.
The next question, Bonnie, is that were you pregnant at the time that you were killed? Yes or no? It's okay, you can answer. Because we want to tell your side of the story. Were you pregnant? Yes or no?
Yes.
But that was
That
a
was
male.
Clyde.
Yeah, it's dead.
There you go. Turn it back on because it turned itself off.
When we ask you a question, you can light it up yellow for red. Yes? You said yes. It's going off. Going off. Going off. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Do you mind us being out here? Yes. Are we talking to Bonnie?
Heat signature right there, look. Come here, look. Look, right there. That's the move.
Hi y'all, we just got finished up here. This is Mr. Bill and Alex
How you doing?
of LGG, Louisiana Ghosty Generations. You just missed David and Wayne and all them. They of NPRI. They've already had to hit the road. But
Things happen.
so, what are you getting?
Back there we weren't getting a lot, but
We got a really strong reading right here, oddly
we're
enough.
about to check it out.
So I don't want you to get hit by a smoke.
I'm still getting. Oh, it's holding. It's holding.
It's holding.
Snakes.
Have you ever had one to do that out here?
Not out here. I mean, it'll flash, but it won't hold.
This is holding. K2 is holding. So basically they would have been probably over here, the possum. What are y'all getting now?
Three.
Spiking red. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay, spiking red.
Mine's at 0 over here.
It's moving all back and forth, crazy, crazy.
Bonnie's up here.
I'm going to hit the
He
mark.
got a 69 reading on the.
Where? I didn't
Right
get it on
here.
video. It's off. It's off. Do it again. Come back over here. Let me get it.
I just wanted it again.
69, y'all.
And it's 84 plus out here,
Right.
and humidity's about 80%.
And even though it's a little shady because we're kind of right outside the road, that's too much of a significant drop in temperature
It is.
right there.
I'm running about a 0 to a 1 right now, but I'm going to go to the more sensitive setting and see if that catches in, because
Whoa! Look at that!
still on the sensitive. Whatever it is, it's
It raised up like 3 feet.
And there is absolutely no power lines except for way over there on the other side of the road, not over here on this side. Amazing.
And it's down to 0 and down here on the ground. Go up.
You're just about head high to Clyde.
Are you still getting?
Every now and then out here.
Yeah, Clyde would be about.
So it's not holding
5'10".
anymore.
Clyde's about 2 inches shorter than I am.
Goes.
Do what?
It comes and goes, which tells me it's
But
not power
you
line or
also had
anything.
Ted Hinton and the
Yeah,
Yeah,
Marshall
it's dropping down as I go.
Amazing.
Bonnie, is that you with us? You know my deal. Cross for yes.
I finally had an opportunity to go through all the video footage and compile it. So let's take a look at it and see what evidence that was obtained. This first clip that I'm going to show y'all is from David's team in PRI. They were at the, what we think may have been the actual ambush site, the real ambush site, and his daughter Madison had a K2 meter. Let's take a look and see what they did.
Hey, see it?
Here we go. Here we go. It's it.
Right there, right there.
Okay, I'm going to ask just a few questions, okay? Bonnie, Clyde.
So as you can see, the K2 meter was definitely going on.
Yeah.
And I could see some spikes during that K2 meter when they were asking questions for Bonnie and Clyde. I saw hits on the meter.
It was pagan.
Yep. Bonnie, are you here? I heard a yes.
I heard that too, but I'm still skeptical of that box. But I'm 50-50 on it at this point.
The amazing, I wasn't there at the recording, so I'm believing it sounded different there. I didn't hear the yes from here. It sounded more like an irk sound. From here, listening to it on that recording.
Like an irk?
Yeah, it sounded more like irk. I didn't get
To be fair, they may have only got power enough manifestation to get at the first sounds out.
Yeah. But the recording may not have caught all that he could personally hear either.
Yeah, there was traffic in that.
Right. And plus, that app is still highly controversial, which we all know,
Yeah.
that any app for a mobile phone like that is definitely highly controversial. But still, I wanted to see, just to kind of test it out and see if there was anything that we could possibly
Yeah, just
get
keep
out.
trying it, and that's empirical testing right there. It's just keep trying it,
Yeah.
do comparisons, do a control group, find out if it works.
Right. And this next clip again, we were using that same app to see what we could get out of it. And this is the next question here. I heard Clyde.
I heard something similar to
Yeah.
Clyde.
I heard something similar. So it sounded like there was two I, like an I or Y sounds in there.
Clyde.
Yeah.
Kind of like a pirate eye.
Does the app itself, does it does it record the answers, responses itself, so that you have a listing of the stuff that came through?
It can definitely do that. It has that option.
So it can be reviewed like an EVP.
Correct.
Okay, that's good.
That's very good.
Yellow. Can you do that again? Yellow for yes, red for no. See, there's no electricity out here.
So I saw pegging,
Yeah.
constantly, regardless of whether they were asking questions or not. But I don't recall seeing any power lines or anything like that could be causing that issue.
Now they're in the same area. We were getting good evidence, and we checked. The power lines are completely on the other side. There's no markers indicating that there's any underlying power or piping.
Right.
So there shouldn't have been any interference that far away from the actual power lines.
I agree.
Not of that level.
Yeah.
Are y'all truly remorseful for the crimes that y'all committed?
He said yes.
I definitely heard a yes.
That was
Yeah,
that was
I
clear.
heard.
That was
That was
very
pretty
clear.
clear.
That right there to me was very clear, and it didn't sound like a male voice. It sounded like a female voice.
Yeah.
And we asked Bonnie
Almost
Parker.
gender neutral, but leaning towards female.
Yes.
I think the battery's getting ready to go dead on me.
Yeah, it is.
So right there, when Marcus had that meter in his hand, it's like something just zapped the battery out of it.
Yeah.
Now tell me, was the battery fully charged?
It might have been a little bit low, but it had enough power. You should be looking fine.
Let me get it.
I just wanted to
69, y'all.
And it's 84 plus out here.
Well, y'all, I think that is definitely the actual ambush spot. It's about
It is right by the markers.
It's about 20 feet away from where the markers are placed. If you're looking down the road, the markers are on the right-hand side. If you're looking in that direction, markers are on the right-hand side, and about 20 feet down from that on the left, that's where all the craziness was really going on.